Welcome back. Some residents of the Obed Nkosi township in Heidelberg have expressed frustration over the sewage spills in the area. They say they have complained about this for over 2 years, with their concerns falling on deaf ears. They argue that the sewage backflows into showers and baths.
Sinenkinga thina serious kakhulu ngoba manje sihlala nabantwana abancane lana. Sina inkinga yalamanzi lawo vele ngoba vele imvulo mayinethile vele kuyanuka aphuma kakhulu akukhona ngisho nokuphuma nasendlini. Yeah. So yeah, inkinga esinayo kakhulu le. Ngoba yabona nabantu badina basebathatha neadvantage yokudampa udoti khona la ngoba babona already kungcolile vele.
We currently have water, but then we would go for 2 months without water. And then when the water comes back, the water bills are high. For that reason, the electricity gets blocked. And then another problem we have is the sewage. I mean, it's unsanitary for the kids to be just playing around this area. Those are the problems we have. Another problem we also have is the pipes. I think the plumbing here that went completely wrong. The pipes would burst underneath the flats here and resulting in wet spaces within the unit itself.
For more on this, we are joined by DAPR councillor in Lesedi municipality, Mokete Motsamai, and a business owner in Heidelberg, Muqhtar Dosani. Gentlemen, a very good evening, and thank you to you both for joining us. And I'd like to start with you, Muqhtar, as a business owner in the area as well, just to take us through your lived experience in trying to operate a business there.
Well, thank you for having us. And I think it's about time that we have a platform to be able to view, for the viewers, to understand the frustrations that we face as business owners and obviously as residents in the smaller municipalities. I think the biggest challenge that we've had is that, water cuts for lengthy periods of time obviously result in forced business closures for lengthy periods of time. I mean, to the point that sometimes it ran up to about 14 to 16 days without water. And obviously that renders it impossible to operate. And these type of things, together with a very ailing economy, really exacerbate the problem even further and pose huge amounts of challenges in terms of how long could we continue like this, and what is the longevity of creating employment and contributing to the local fiscus in Heidelberg without any intervention, and I think this is posing a serious problem for any business in Heidelberg.
And when you're mentioning, Muqhtar, the employment aspect of it, 14 to 16 days without water, what does that mean for your staff? Does that mean then you obviously have to stop operation? And what does that mean for them?
Most definitely, because I mean we've obviously had to now create some emergency capex to have JoJo tanks and things installed. But the problem is that water runs out and then it becomes unsanitary for workers to be at work. And then we've obviously then got to let them stay at home and stop operations, at points.
Councillor Mokete, this is where I want to bring you in, serving on the council as well. This problem has been ongoing, I believe, for a couple of years now. Muqhtar mentions how unsanitary it is as well. Take us through the lived experience from your constituency and the residents there who may come up to you as a councillor to complain.
Certainly, Masa, and thank you so much for having us. Good evening to you and the viewers. So maybe just a correction from my side, Masa. I am a councillor in Midvalpa, deployed and serving or assisting the caucus of Lesedi as a councillor, but not necessarily as a councillor in Lesedi, as a deployee of the Democratic Alliance in Lesedi.
Okay.
So from our caucus, we have actually been having issues, and the councillors of the DA in Lesedi have always been complaining that the issues of Lesedi go far and wide. So we have been in Obed Nkosi today, and we've been there with some of our councillors over the last couple of days, where we've been observing the sewer issues, and the community has been coming to us to highlight that they have been complaining to council and to everybody basically for the last couple of years, and their issues have not been resolved. And the issues go far and beyond Obed Nkosi. We even went to the business industrial site in Ward 8, which is supposed to be a business booming area where sewer is running all over the place. So basically, Lesedi is full of sewer, and Heidelberg is full of dam sewers all over the place. And the residents have been complaining, Masa, the same way businesses have been complaining to say, as soon as the water comes back, because mostly they don't have water. So as and when water comes back, sewer blocks everywhere in Obed Nkosi, and they can't even go out or open their windows. And you could see today when we went there, even though it was a bit cold, but it was smelling everywhere in Obed Nkosi, and the community is already complaining. The issues have been escalated to council quite a number of times. We've got messages that the councillors have been showing us. Our councillors have been putting the issues forward at council, as well as engaging the relevant MMCs in this case. But to date, the matters have not been resolved. And it can't be something that council ignores, because it's a health hazard, as I was saying earlier, because the very same water the very same sewer goes into the water streams that goes down the road, and in some cases goes into some of the rivers where people are making use of those waters, especially when there's no water in Lesedi. So it's quite a bad issue and a bad situation the people of Obed Nkosi and some areas in Ratanda are exposed to on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I believe that some of the residents you're mentioning now as well, Councillor, that the stench is so bad. Our reporter was also there earlier covering that, and also could attest to that. But some were saying that because now, it's getting warmer, it's spring days, it's getting into summer as well, the stench is getting even worse. This is something that has been escalated to council. Clearly, not much is being done about it. What's the next step?
From our side, we are taking quite a number of steps to begin with. We will be engaging in a number of community meetings throughout Heidelberg, as well as Obed Nkosi and parts of Fort 1 and Extension 23, where we will be engaging the community so that we can get their support and submit more petitions to put pressure on council and the mayor to do something. And failure of which will then escalate the matters to relevant bodies such as the Human Rights Commission, because it's unacceptable that people have to be exposed to such raw sewer on a daily basis. So we'll be taking those steps. So I have committed today with one of our PR councillors deployed in Obed Nkosi that will be going to one of the block of flats and the rest of Fort 1, so that the community can work with us as we expose the issues and the councillors' failure to attend to the issues the community has been facing. But we will not be ending it there, Masa. I can confirm that I will be engaging with our caucus so that they also take the matters forward at council, so that they can compel and force the mayor and the relevant councillors to act immediately, failure of which will then also explore other options available to the caucus of Lesedi, as well as the residents of Heidelberg, as well as Obed Nkosi.
Now, Muqhtar Dosani, for you as a business owner there, we're listening to the councillor talking about what can be done to try and solve this. Obviously, this won't be an overnight solution as well. How much longer realistically can you operate your business in such dire conditions?
I think the answer to that question is how long is a piece of string? As South Africans, I think we've been very, very resilient, and we are resilient as a nation, and we do everything possible to work around the challenges that we face. And unfortunately, I think together with the economic situation, I think worldwide, not just in South Africa, I think this exacerbates the problem. And the problem then comes in that you may just find it could be anywhere between 6 months and 1 year. And then obviously reinvestment is not on the cards in Heidelberg, although we've invested quite a bit in Heidelberg. One then has to look at the next 5-year plan, and a lot of your plans then tend to get adjusted, to look at what the other options might be that in other parts of South Africa, or should it be across the borders of South Africa? And that would be a crying shame, because we are proud South Africans, we love our country, and it's an absolute shame to see it deteriorate like this. And we're not a poor nation, we're not a poor country. We have the resources, it's just this misappropriation of the resources that have been handed to municipalities and councils that are being so badly abused and misused. And that is what is the shameful thing, and that is what is the hardest pill to swallow. You know, if we were a nation that was had a very ailing economy for many years, one would understand that what does the government do when they don't have. But when you have misappropriation to this degree, it's really saddening and disheartening.
And you know, Muqhtar, I know that you've spoken quite passionately about being South African, but also Heidelberg having a special place in your heart as well. You've lived in that area too. You still have family there too. What is their lived experience?
So pretty much, I mean, I've lived there most of my life. I obviously then had to move out of Heidelberg because of, logistics for schooling and things for my kids. But obviously, I'm in Heidelberg most of the time. And unfortunately, I mean, my family still live there. And again, they've had to, install solar systems and put in JoJo tanks and things like that. And they're in a fortunate position to be able to do that. And what pains me is for a lot of the people that work in our businesses and work with us that don't have the means to have those plan Bs. We hear their struggles and their strifes on a daily basis. I mean, many times they'll come to work late because of the fact that there's no water, because of the fact there's no electricity for days on end, and obviously with no answers from anyone as to when this service delivery or these services would be restored. And that poses huge amounts of problems for them to get their kids to study and get them to school and so on. And that obviously indirectly impacts on productivity. And you have to understand that this is not of their own doing. So unfortunately, the bigger impacts are always far greater than what meets the eye.
Yeah, it really does sound like a deplorable condition indeed. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this evening and just sharing your insights and lived experience about being in that area too.